I'm Shay Russell for mining.com.au, and joining me today is the President and CEO of Faraday Copper, Paul Harbidge. Paul, great to have you back on. How are you?
Yeah, hi Shay, great to be here and very well, thank you.
Now, this conversation's been a long time coming because normally with these videos, we have to get down to business straight away and talk about some of your stunning results. But instead, I would rather talk about your stunning copper project that you're in the process of revealing. Tell me, what made you want to take this particular project on in this particular jurisdiction?
Yeah, so this really goes back to 2021, and I just led a company called GT Gold who'd made a big copper gold discovery in northern British Columbia, and we sold that in a $456 million deal to Newmont. And so then I was looking, at what next, and I teamed up with my partner, Russell Ball, and we were looking for new opportunities. And actually the predecessor of Faraday, it was a company called Copper Bank. And Copper Bank was set up with that definition to be a bank in which to store copper assets in. And so it had a couple of copper assets that they'd acquired when the copper price was really low. But the company, there was no management team. It was essentially a non-trading shell, and it had these two dormant assets. So I got introduced to the founder and really liked what I saw in terms of the Arizona project. This was a project that had a very large copper resource. It had a huge amount of historical data, but it had never really been put together in a coherent story. And so we, after speaking with the founder, we did 3 months of due diligence, and that really excited us when we saw the geology, saw the opportunity, and the jurisdiction it was in. So we put a proposal together to the founder. He accepted, and in September 2021, we took over the management of the company.
What aspects of the project really excited you?
Well, as I say, the fact that it had got all of this historical data, so from a technical standpoint, that helped to de-risk it. And then there was, as I say, it hadn't really been put together in a coherent story. Previously, they'd looked at a big open pit, they'd looked at then an underground. What we saw the opportunity was that you could start off with an initial open pit that could then fund the capital for a large underground mine, and we saw the potential for at least a 30-year mine life. And that really excited us. And the fact that, really people had forgotten about this asset, it was non-trading, then there was a real opportunity that if we put all the technical data together, we could unlock a lot of value for shareholders.
Now, you've mentioned that you've brought a bunch of new talent, some fresh eyes to the board. Who are they and what are their strengths?
Yeah, no, I mean, what was exciting for me was being able to handpick my team. And, I think as everyone agrees, getting the right bums in the right seats is key. And so being able to pull on my experience, my connections, and really handpick the people I wanted to work with me, both in terms of their skill sets, but the camaraderie within the team. And so covering, all aspects from finance, studies, geology, environmental, investor relations, then, that was key. And then similarly at the board level as well, we were, and I think, let me just take one step back. What did we want to do? What was our main mantra? And that was about bringing senior company mentality to the junior world. And what I meant by that is the rigor and discipline around, the governance, the technical work, making sure we got empirical data to make informed decisions. And so as well as the management team, we wanted to align that in the board as well. And so, we brought people on that have come from big senior companies, had very senior position in those senior companies to really support and guide the management team as we advance the project. And I think the other thing, Shay, that I wanted to mention was, we also rebranded the company. We wanted to give it our own identity, hence the name Faraday Copper. It was Copper Bank. We weren't a bank. We weren't storing things. We wanted to unlock value. And all too often, that companies will use the names of, the area they're in, the state, the county, and it gets confusing. There's so many names that are similar, and so differentiating yourselves is challenging. Hence why we came up with with Faraday after Michael Faraday, the British scientist who used copper in all of his inventions, including the first electric motor. And we felt, that was really apt when we think about this green energy transition.
One of my favorite things about interviewing CEOs of companies is finding out some of the names came along. What a great name for the company, and what a great origin for it as well. Listen, tell me, along with this rebrand and some fresh eyes on historical data, how have you found investors responding to this over the past couple of years?
No, it's been great. I mean, we've been able to attract three key strategic shareholders. Firstly, the Lundin family, one of the biggest names in mining in Canada. They're now at just over 19% of our shareholding. We've also got Murray Edwards, another Canadian resource billionaire from Canada. He's at just over 6%. And finally, Pierre Lassonde, who doesn't really need an introduction. So to have those three names on the register, really sends a strong message to the market. And then in our financings as well, we've got a strong institutional base, led out of the US by Wellington, Franklin, and Fidelity. You can't get more blue chip than that. And again, I think that, really resonates with shareholders, the quality of our register.
We've lightly touched on it before, but having such prominent and strong institutions essentially investing in your company is very much a vote of confidence in what you as a management are doing, but also to the quality of the project that you're trying to bring to life.
No, exactly. And I think as well, particularly with it being in copper, and really the push into the clean energy transition and also in the US, the institutions in the States there were really looking for quality copper projects within the country confine of the US. So yeah, really exciting to have those on board and to have the quality of the project that we've got.
Listen, Paul, I want to thank you very much for being on here today. But before everybody turns off, keep your eyes peeled over the next few weeks, because we're actually going to delve into more of the technical detail on this stunning project that you are working on. So everybody keep your eyes out for that. Paul, thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait to unpack this project, because it sounds very exciting. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Shay, and we'll speak soon.